Hey, good morning. I'm Justin. This is one of my partners at the Justin Landis Group, Jared Thomas. And welcome to the Landis Look, where we're going to take a look at the world of real estate through the eyes of some folks who've done it for a while, which is us. We've worked together for over a decade now.
Yeah.
So lots of days, lots of houses. And today what we're going to look at is how to pay for your child's college education with 2 phone calls. Sounds too good to be true? Well, how about at 20 cents on the dollar? 2 phone calls and 20 cents on the dollar. You think that sounds like a good deal?
Yeah, I do. I mean, it's obviously something we've been thinking a lot about since we both have young kids. And once we got turned on to this idea, I haven't found anyone that doesn't think it's a great idea.
Yeah, definitely. And so like Jared said, we do both have young kids. Jared, very new second child. Lucy's how old now?
Yeah, just turned 1 month old.
1 month old. I love it. So, and I've got a third coming in a couple months. And so this is something we're thinking about, is what college is going to look like, because we've learned a lot from having kids. And one of the things I know you were sharing me that you've learned is
they're expensive.
Kids are expensive. Yes, kids are expensive, and college is only going to get more expensive. And so this idea came to us. Good friend of mine, he got a job in a different part of the city, and instead of selling his house, he rented it out, and they moved to a different part of the city, had the house as a rental property for a long time, and then recently sold it. We had a conversation about, did it make sense to do, how would all that look? And one of the things I asked him is, hey, what are you going to do with the proceeds? And he's like, well, this is going to pay for my son's college. And I was like, wow, that's pretty awesome. I mean, someone else has been paying the mortgage. It had appreciated. He owed very little on it. And I was like, how awesome that this one house was going to take care of someone's college education. And so we started talking about it and came up with, hey, I think in as little as 2 phone calls, you truly can pay for college at potentially 20 cents on the dollar. So tell everybody what, kind of what we've been talking about.
Yeah, so the few things that I get when I pitch this idea is, well, I don't know if I have enough time. And as I was thinking the Super Bowl's approaching, I was like, really? In about the time it'll take to watch maybe the first quarter, definitely the first half, you could have those 2 phone calls and really get everything set that you need to in order to execute the plan.
Yeah, and if the Saints had made the Super Bowl, if it was the Saints and Patriots, everyone in Atlanta, you could have done this during the Super Bowl, been better off for it and not have to watch the game. Now you can cheer for the Rams and maybe work on this on Monday. But yeah, I mean, the 2 phone calls to get started are to us to talk strategy, and to a lender, our preferred partner, Mark Dacre. And that can really set you up, and we can handle all the rest of the stuff. So kind of walk us through the numbers. Like, how would this look for somebody if they were like, hey, I really do want to take care of my kid's college at 20 cents on the dollar?
Yeah, absolutely. So the 20 cents on the dollar comes from the down payment for an investment property. And really the goal is simply this. You find an investment property, you get a 15-year mortgage on it, find something that cash flows, including vacancy repairs and all that good stuff, based on that 15-year mortgage payment. As long as you purchase it before your kid turns 3, when they turn 18, someone else has paid for 80% of that asset. That's probably worth, our goal was thinking college is probably going to cost around $200,000. So we put down the 15 to 25%, however much works for you, have someone else pay for the rest, and then sell it or use the cash flow when it's paid for to cash flow the college when that time comes.
Yeah, I mean, and think about that. This is a pretty conservative estimate, right? We're talking no cash flow, so you break even, right? I mean, you break even. You paid for your expenses, paid for any upgrades, that sort of stuff, but no actual cash flow,
right?
And no appreciation,
right?
So you bought a house for $200,000, you sold it for $200,000. I can't find many people who think that'll be the case in Atlanta over the next 15 years. But still, in that case, your $40,000 down payment is a $200,000 sale that minus transaction fees. And I started to say taxes, but actually I'm not a tax expert, but I think if you make no cash flow and no appreciation, there's not a big tax bill associated with it. And so, I mean, that right there is a pretty conservative way to say, hey, $200,000 from a $40,000 investment that you put in place. And one of the things that I know you love about it is, what about the upside? Like, think of the houses we were looking at 10, 15 years ago.
Absolutely.
And some of our friends that bought them. I mean, what would that be?
Yeah, I mean, I can't think of any place in Atlanta 15 years ago that went up only 3% or didn't go up at all. So, I mean, there's tremendous upside. And Maggie, I know, is already eyeing Ivy League schools. So
my oldest might be, she might have some expensive taste. So might have to get a couple of properties.
Yeah.
But yeah, I mean, if you think about this, 3% appreciation on a $200,000 house over 15 years makes it a $300,000 house. 3% appreciation is just barely beating inflation.
Right.
It's not an unrealistic not unrealistic that could happen. And that gives you tremendous upside. And so, one of the questions that I get when I say this to people is, well, what about a 529 account? Is it going to be, what kind of return would I have to get there? How much effort would there have to be? And I mean, we're not financial planners, so you'd want to talk to your financial planner on this. But in rough numbers, if you make a $40,000 investment in a 529 account, even with the tax advantages, to make $200,000 over 15 years, I think you have to get like a 9-ish% annualized return, which, I mean, once again, that is beating the market, beating what the market has done. It's expecting something that has not happened in the past. And the upside of turning that 200 into 300, little chance the stock market's going to be up 15% per year, right over the next 15 years. So those are some of the things that we love about it. And the other question we get though is, how much time is this going to take, right? I mean, people are like, 529 account, I click a couple buttons and I don't have to do anything
set up the auto draft and it's done.
Yeah. So what about like actually executing this? How hard would it be for somebody to do that?
Yeah. Well, I think in the dream scenario, we find a property management company and factor that cost into the cash flow. And so, I mean, in that scenario, less than an hour a month, probably, maybe even less than that, on average. So yeah, I mean, I think it can be done with very little time.
Yeah. And a few people trust us to do this, and honestly, you could trust us to do this. I mean, with that one call to us and to Mark Dacre, we could find the property, get it inspected, get all the stuff taken care of, get the tenant, get the management set up. And I mean, we really could do it, and you could never come to the property. And I am super confident that it would go really well, and that we'd help you pick a great investment that met your goals.
It's not like your personal home search where you want to go out every weekend and look at 20 places. Yeah. This is, do the numbers work? The pictures look good. I know the location. Let's do it. So yeah, some people don't even really go visit it.
Yeah. Yeah. So if you're interested in this, if you're like, hey, I'd love to hear more about this, or you really do want to knock it out in 2 phone calls, you can set up a call with us. Email us at either Jared at Justin Landis Group or Justin at Justin Landis Group, and we can get you started on this. And if you're hearing that first story about my friend who didn't sell his first house, this is another way to do it without actually buying an investment property. If you own that first property and you're thinking, hey, we might move in the next year or two, you can keep that property, right?
Absolutely, yeah. That's one place to get your rental property from. We love that because you already know it. You know what works, what doesn't work, the pros and cons of it. And it's just an easier way to get equity. A couple of other ways to get equity would be to get it out of your personal residence if you're looking for the down payment for the next home. Yep. Maybe an old 401k or IRA rollover. So there's a few different options there. Absolutely.
Yeah. Awesome. Well, thanks for listening, guys. I mean, you can probably tell this is something we're passionate about, and we know a lot of y'all are in the same stage of life that we are. And so let's set our kids up for a really great future, and we'd love to help you do that. We'll see you again next week. Thanks for your time.